We are live from Talladega Super Speedway, back from our HSR money racing here. Raymond Rittner, he's going to sit on top. We'll go through the starting lineup. It's going to be Raymond Rittner first, Kenneth Stamper second, Dean Bremett third, Jason D. Maines fourth, Matthew Baker fifth, familiar name, PJ Luttrell sixth, seventh, Justin Rideout, eighth, Danny Eshelman, ninth, Jeff D. Merrick, 10th, Robert Lawrence, runs in the Ghost League. So good to see a guy here that's a familiar face to me running HSR tonight. 11th, John Brink, 12th, Larry Johnson, 13th, Kobe Stupton, 14th, Ron Morris Jr., 15th, Kerry Whitaker, 16th, Joseph Turley, 17th, Derek Raleigh. He had a pass within 100 feet last night, squeezed down the bottom, took it home, so hopefully he can do that again tonight. 18th, Josh Morales, 19th, DJ Daniels, 20th, Joseph Madigan, 21st, Nathan Harper, 22, Andrew Santo, 23rd, Brandon Browning. It sounds like a familiar name in real life. 24th, James Conley, 25th, Dean Hopton. But I'm joined by Biggles tonight. Biggles.
I'm here. I'm excited, mate. Isn't this a classic track, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, man. I love seeing HSR run here. There's always a good finish every single time, it seems.
I think the old famous shake and bake, right? Isn't that what it's all about here? Is it shaking and baking?
Oh, yeah, shake and bake. You just want to get a car behind you lined up with you to give you a good old shove, it seems, a lot of the times here.
Absolutely. And obviously cautions and all that sort of jazz. 27? I say souls, isn't it? Usually like you're a pilot, isn't it? You are the pilot, my friend. You're going to be directing this plane and hopefully landing it in the right way. 27 souls on board, which would be 27 absolutely drivers going for two for now to get some nice cash prize in the back of their pocket.
Yeah, this is, I think, the second biggest race, HSR has done. I know after one of the streams that I did, there was, I think, almost 500 views before it ended. And the next money race, there was a 32 truck field. So they're starting to grow here at HSR. They're getting at least 20 each race most of the time. Sometimes it's a little bit more every now and then. I believe that actually one of those drivers in there is race admin. That's Andrew, so he won't be in the race. It'll go down to 27 at least. That is. But tonight I'm gonna be looking for drivers to be pretty calm. Talladega is a pretty wide track, so that's always something that plays an advantage to them, because Daytona, when they run at Daytona, it's a little bit shorter to the travel and just a little bit smaller in general, not as wide. But Talladega, you can really fan out, and that's when you see a lot of action start to happen here.
Well, my friend, one thing you're guaranteed on a Saturday night with racing is action. And I really wanted to drive the safety car, but unfortunately my mouse and keyboard weren't quite to cut that up there, so I didn't want to disappoint anybody. But guess what? They're going to be going around this classic track, hopefully as quickly as possible, hopefully in one piece. 4 wheels remaining on that car.
Yeah, man, Talladega, it's known for the big ones. Is one big thing about it. There's always a wreck within the final lap, last turn. Drivers are trying to make the most moves that they can, and a lot of the times it ends up with them either getting turned. Sometimes they'll take it home, but it's a big one. The one that I remember, I can't remember what year it was, man. It was absolutely huge. Took out the whole field coming through 3 and 4. I believe it was Kyle Busch who actually took the win home during that race. Gordon Falls second. That was the biggest crash here at Talladega, but it's known for monstrous crashes, and that's just really what happens when you race at super speedways. Everybody's just so close together. Just one mistake, and that'll take out 3 to 4 trucks. Innocent bystanders a lot of the time. Nothing that they can do at all.
Don't you go jinxing it. We could have a breaking history, of course. That's all it's about.
Yeah, but
so keep an eye out there for Raymond on the left, Kenneth on the right, and there's the truck going peeled in here.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. Kenneth, he's a familiar face, but they've got that pro behind him. That's Jason D. Maines. I believe he has a brother that didn't race tonight. We saw him last week also. The 87, it doesn't really matter on a start here because they're just so reliant on the draft. Doesn't really matter the start. Kenneth can get a terrible one and he'll be perfectly fine. But the fire is going to be off Raymond Ritter. We'll see when he goes. He's going to get a good, decent start. Kenneth got a decent one though, but Kenneth's a little bit out from Maines. Not going to help. He's going to start to get sucked behind really quick. We'll start to see if 2 lanes form. It seems like when you go to Talladega, there always seems to be that middle lane and that bottom lane. The middle lane, every now and then, it'll gain momentum, even with not as many trucks as the bottom lane, but they just seem to kind of slowly work away at it. Every lap, then they'll kind of fall apart, then they'll form up again. But it'll be interesting to see what that middle lane can do now.
It's the 2 lanes at the moment. A little bit of a switcheroo. Look at the yellow car. Can't remember who that was. The 21 car. He switched up into the outside lane. You mentioned it. It's the 2 lanes.
Yeah, it's
so the freeway's jammed and a couple of laps down. It's good to see. So far, so good. Welcome everybody, of course, into the YouTube channel. And let us know who you're supporting at the moment. And it's going to the 3-way at the moment. The front. Hey, look at this now. It's
they're already making moves. That's right out. Hops up in front of the 60 of Jeff DeMerick. He's trying to go to the front. It's only lap 2 right now. Already giving a shove. Drivers got to watch in the corners. I saw a lot of people get hooked, especially last night. Drivers come off the bottom just a little bit, and just that little tap in the wrong area sends them around. So drivers got to be really careful when they bump. It's known from a lot of people who do super speedways, don't bump me in the corners. Just you can absolutely drill me in the straights, but just don't do it going in the corner. It's going to be terrible. But that 60 is all over the 40 of Justin Rideout, giving him a huge shove.
Brycey, I know you're asking for a caution car, mate. It's not going to happen. I know you're eking it. You're eking it. Down to the inside line goes the number 40 car, deciding he's going to switch that one around there. That's going to allow that Toyota to the outside there. I can think that will be Jeff. Maybe it will be. So Jeff in the 60 car on the outside, 40 on the inside. Everybody filing it. All good. You're going to school.
Oh, yeah,
Lunchtime,
Jeff.
He's not just yet.
You see Matthew, he's really the only truck close enough to Jeff, but he's giving him a shove that's allowed Jeff to battle back on the outside. But that 40, he's got the trucks behind him, so that 6, he's kind of at a disadvantage. But the middle lane, seems what I've noticed is they'll slow down on the straights, but in the corners they gain a lot, and I think that's not having to put as much wheel into it, scrubbing off speed on the bottom. But the 60 is going to take a fight. I believe that's the 87. He jumps up. That's going to leave the 40 in a weird spot. It's going to slow down the 40, so it's going to put the 60 to the lead for right now. He's followed by Matthew Baker. They both hop down into that bottom lane. Now it's going to leave the 87 of Raymond. He's kind of that leader on that middle lane now. He's got Maines behind him, so he knows Maines can push.
Look at that. Switcheroo positions already, but Jeff's still leading there. That's Jeff Merkbach from Baker. There's Raymond Rindor at the second, and look at that difference between the outside lane and the inside lane. But it'll all switcheroo as you quick. A little bit of grip down. Get the gas pedal loud as possible. 4 of 70. Very, very good racing so far. They're all light and stone, a little bit bumping and grinding. Not so much elbows out just yet, of course, because you don't want to expect it, but good, clean racing. Let's not jinx it. I want to see the green flag.
It looks like it seems most drivers have decided to. Normally I would see about this time, that's when you start to see drivers really choose a lane that they want to run, but most of them are deciding to run more bottom. Some of them kind of decide in middle, but you kind of got some stragglers back here kind of running in that weird position. They're like, I don't want to be up here. So at 13, something's happened to him. He's way off the pace. I'm not sure what happened to him. Maybe he got a late start. Maybe didn't get gridded in time, but the 60's gone to the lead. Baker, he's going to shove him. The 87 is going to try to mount something. Might take him a little bit. Actually, as I say that, he gets a huge run through the tribal. He's going to the front. It's about side by side with Baker. Can he get to the quarter panel of the 60? Will he decide to side draft, or will he decide it's a little bit too early? Don't want to risk net code at all, but drivers do have that fast repair. So if they do wreck, they got a fast repair, but they don't want to use it early in the race.
Yeah, your free fast repair is basically like your one-up, isn't it, in any game? You have another health life there, but now I'm starting to see them getting a little bit twirly in the rear end there. The tyres got some temperature into it. A little bit more braveness, of course, as you're going into lap 5. Lap 6, getting a little bit bold and steady, as you can see, a little bit off there. And you know that updrafting behind just straight on like hitting a pool cue. It's perfect if you hit it straight, but if you're off just a little bit off center, somebody's going spinning, and look at that. There's a little bit of a rear movement at the moment there for that pink car in the background. I can't remember who that was specifically, but you can see now they're starting to get a little loose, a little grippy, and a little bit more brave.
Yeah, and one thing that, I kind of picked up, and I would run super speedways, is I think what a lot of drivers deal with is when they want to go into the corner, they're not expecting how much of a banking that is, and they kind of jerk the wheel down really suddenly. And I've kind of learned, maybe if you already anticipate it, it doesn't scrub off as much speed, and you won't kick out your rear tires. And you wouldn't think that, kicking out your rear tires hurts here, but it really does, because it builds just that little bit of extra heat. As they get hotter, they lose grip, and they're going to want to slide even more. And it's just a positive feedback loop, which you really don't want that at all with the tires here.
I like the positive feedback loop. That's fantastic. It's like a science lesson, isn't it? But at the moment, positive feedback loop would be Matthew Baker right in the back rear axle. Just happy to sit there, get that slipstream. Let Jeff break all the air there, the slipstream. On the outside, don't forget the 87 car of Raymond, who's on a bit of a challenge there at the moment for, it looks like, Justin, the 40 car. But they're all smooth and steady. Remember, you're not going to win this race on lap 7. You're going to win this race on lap 70 Obviously, pit stops are in play, but so far so good. Remember, they're going to be playing on cautions there. The teams, the engineers will be working on this one out there, the spotters. But I'm telling you what, I'm very happy for this Saturday night entertainment, my friend.
No, I'm not normally someone who's fond of, these types of races in real life, but they're fun to definitely watch, sim racing, because, I don't know, it's just people like to move around all the time. They kind of make moves all throughout the pack. The 40, he's decided to jump up. He's going to try to get the lead. 87 is going to give him a shove. 40 has a little bit of a run. He's going to break even with the 60 right now, but that middle lane hasn't been able to really form as good as that bottom lane has. That bottom lane, I think Baker knows how to shove the 60 when the right spots. But the 40, he's about side by side with the 60. He's got the 87 pushing, but Baker, you see again, he's just glued to the back end of the 60 of Jeff, not getting off his bumper at all.
It's a speed difference, is it? Because you remember when you're behind, you're so much quicker. You have to lift that loud pedal a little bit. Take care of it. Light flowers if you need to, but don't get too greedy, because if you get too greedy, all of a sudden you're pushing somebody a little bit too much, and all of a sudden there could be a massive pile-up. At the moment, let's not curse that one. It's good. There is going to be side-by-side, so it's going to be Jeff on the outside. It's going to be Justin on the inside, I believe. The 60 car it will be. And they're going to form those two aisles. And look at that. I'd have to say, is that Matthew Baker on the inside? He's just been the 5 car. He's been eager, but he's not going for the middle lane that you mentioned yet.
I wouldn't really expect him, to move. He can't move anywhere, really, because if he goes and moves, everybody's going to kind of go around and not work with him. But that middle lane, I talked earlier, they take a little bit to form up, but if they finally have done it, and they're starting to take the fight. They lose a little bit every now and then, but then when they get that really big run, that run is really huge, but they just can't get past them. But it's always interesting to see when that truck on the outside gets past the person sitting on that inside lane, they always tend to hop down, and then it's the next person behind them that'll just pass them right back, because it seems like that middle lane, you kind of want to stay in it most of the time, but it's really, how many trucks can you have on that bottom lane compared to the middle? But it looks like it's pretty even right now throughout the whole pack on who's on the bottom, who's on the middle lane.
So far, so good, mate. I tell you what, every one of these drivers I'd be giving a 5-star Uber rating. They're going to take me to the track or not.
Yeah,
From the
man.
airport to the track. They're doing a good job. Absolutely brilliant. A few little exchanges in the midfield here, but so far, so good. Everybody's behaving. Remember, there's big bucks up for grabs, of course. This is a tournament for money. So I think that they're well behaved, realizing a 10 of 70. So we're about 1/7 all the way through the race. We are expecting pit stops, of course. People have fast repairs. You don't hopefully need them. And once again, filing in there and just cool, calm, and collected, man.
Yeah, and I think you'll see within about the next 5 to 7 laps, pit stops are going to happen, but it's going to be interesting with the 60. He's been leading a lot, so he's been burning off fuel, and Matthew Baker, he's been able to save right in behind him because he's not having to run full throttle. The 60's been pulling him along with him most of the time. So that's going to be definitely interesting to see. When will the 60 go? And will he kind of be the off-cycle truck? Who else will go with him?
It's the problem, isn't it, when you're essentially leading a race? You've got to make that little dip. They're going to be looking like they're overtaking lap traffic at the moment. That could definitely come into play, of course, because now
don't
there's a
do
middle
it.
run here.
40 tried to come down, wasn't clear. Shoves the 87 out. 87 gets the bad end of it. I think 87 realized
the
it.
first time you've seen it, somebody in the middle lane here. And then once again, traffic's up the road. So this could come at play because, hey, there's only so much road to go. Where is that traffic?
I think there's a gentleman's agreement. I think they saw the truck and they decided to let him back in because that was going to end up terrible. Default line is high for these lap trucks, and he was running high, but the 87 would have had to really check up for that.
Oh, exactly. That could be all pearl-shaped, but thank you very much for 13 car. Unlucky for some, lucky for everybody else. Doing the right thing, sportsmanship. Still continuing this race. A lap 11 of 70. I know you really wanted a caution there. I know, Brosy, you did, but so far, so good, my friend. Now it's 3, I guess. Now they're branching into that uncharted territory, as you mentioned.
At 40, I think he might have tried to make a move, and it just didn't work out. And you see he's probably going to have to hold on to the bumper of the 30 of Kenneth Stamper whenever he can get behind him. But the gap's going to close really fast if he does. I think he realizes it now, probably lifting out the throttle just a little bit. He realizes it hops in line now, but 60, he's maintained the lead. But the 316 now, he's a newcomer. He's going to try to get to Matthew. I've seen running a little bit lower than what the truck before him did. Probably trying to get that side draft ever so slightly. And what that side draft does is it kind of stalls the air out, and it'll really pull the truck back towards you. And it's a thing to see in real life too, as he actually goes to the lead. 87 goes with them. Owens cuts down in front of the 60.
Yeah. I'm sorry about there at the moment. Baker's mum, of course, so it's supporting Mr. Baker. He's dropped all the way back down to P5 here after that maneuver. That was a fantastic maneuver. Dean leading this race. My name is Dean. Dean, I like your name, mate. And I like you leading this race, the 316 car.
Yeah, man, he's run a couple races here at HSR. He's not a super familiar person, but he's definitely a guy that hangs around here, it seems. Likes to run here. Oh, yeah.
Great first name. That's all that matters, my friend. He's got the 87 car behind him because it's Raymond. Jeff is there. Justin's there. And there's all the J's, of course. JJJ. That's 60, 40, and 34, exchanging postcodes.
16. I believe that's actually a Bible verse, and that's what his truck is supposed to represent. He's praying to God that he can come home tonight for sure. He wants to not wreck. He wants to take home the most money. But the 40, see that 5, that's the other 5 that's actually... I believe that might be Robert Lawrence. Yes, that's Robert Lawrence, the guy that runs in Ghost League. He's on the bumper of the 40. You saw him really moving around. And I've saw a lot of accidents happen when the drivers, following the truck are trying to line up perfectly straight. And you'll kind of see it's almost like a snake that slithers. They're all trying to follow the rear end exactly, and they're trying to get lined up perfectly.
Brycey, you're not going to call that caution. I know you've been called.
Oh, I don't want to.
Friend. It's not going to happen. When are you expecting pit stops now? Because it's very difficult. You're at the front here. You have to make the call, don't you? And does everybody come in with you? They're all waiting, obviously, for a caution car. They're all waiting for what you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
But it's not happening. So now they have to make a call.
Yeah, but you're going to see, the pit stops. Talladega has one advantage of being super wide down pit road. And you're going to have to really fan out. And I saw last night the 40 is going to jump down now. He tries to bring the 5 with him. Doesn't work. But I saw drivers... When they pitted last night, it's a wide pit road, and you can really fan out, but drivers try. Oh, don't do that. Oh, almost hooks the 40. Saw him get off the bottom. As soon as we were talking about pit stops, here they come. They're going to fan out.
Yeah, here we
Talladega's wide, but I saw a lot of drivers lock them up, getting there as hard as they can. Looks like they all get in there surprisingly clean.
She's down there in the pit lane. How's it going at the moment? Because Baker's jumping there a little bit behind. He's like 4 cars down. What are we at? We're like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't even count that right now. This is like I'm doing a math exercise. In the pit lane, a bunch of drivers. I think we have about 8 drivers still continued on that lap. So this is great because we don't usually expect it to. We don't usually expect just a straight 15 laps without a caution. So now everybody has to do it under green flag conditions. Who's going to come in and out? How's the pit lane crew working?
Looks like the 60 wins it off. He come down first. See, what will this other group do now? Because they're probably going to have to follow real soon.
Do they gain the advantage or not? And how's everybody going to pack back out? That's going to be the key, isn't it?
It's going to be the key, yeah. I think
we have a track map as well. Look at this. They're coming in. Half of them. Majority of them. In fact, they all. And then what happened to the leader? He had to brake early. He was leading that race. Had to big time lost that one.
It's like Dean really got in there hard, wiggled, trying to get on the brakes as hard as he can. That's not a good camera. He tried to get in there. He saw him wiggling his rear end. That's when you're locking up the brakes, trying not to spin out. That was good control by him. Got in there super deep, though.
How are they going to pan out now after everybody else? Because Nathan at management is taking that pit stop, I believe. And so what's going to happen? They're going to come out in a bunch of traffic. You're going to feel like you're in Los Angeles, isn't at the moment, but you're not, everybody.
You're going to have to, we'll have to see where they merge. Look at Nathan Harper. He'd be the odd truck out.
Here they come. There's the pack. That's already taken the pit stops.
I believe
they'll get all pearl-shaped right now.
Oh, they're going to be very far behind, I believe. We'll see. Yeah, they might be able to merge.
They're coming out in traffic. Here we go. Look at the cars up there. Going to get back inside the yellow line. Now they're going to go 2 abreast. They lost a ton of time. Look at this.
That is not good for that group. Just hitting. Actually, they may be able to, if they can hold on to Ron Morse Jr.'s draft, they might be able to do it, but I think, see, we'll look at Kenneth. Actually, he's lost the draft. There's no way he's going to be able to hold on to it.
Mate. Going in 1 lap early at the moment seems like you've done it. That's the right tactic for now, of course. We're 16 and 70, but a little bit of advantage they've gained.
Yeah, there can be, a lot of stuff. Just drivers getting on pit road really hard. Maybe, going about 2 miles under the speed limit because they're trying to get in there so difficult. They don't realize that they're going slower than what they need to. That could have made a difference with this gap that's been formed, but we're going to have to watch and see, can PJ, Kerry, Kenneth, and Lawrence, can they get back to Ron Morris Jr.? Because if they can just catch a little bit of a draft from him, it should be fine. They're gaining on Ron ever so slightly. It's about down to a second. You need to be within about 0.6 of a second to be able to just catch a little sniff of the draft, and you'll be good. But they're definitely gaining on Ron, so I think that pit stop to put them behind, but they're going to be fine now. They're they're with Ron now. So that group that pitted later didn't hurt them too terribly, though. Kind of lucky on that.
Well, it's helped Jeff, my friend, gain 8 positions in this race at the moment, back into the lead. The Stone River car, that's 60. Looking pretty good, smile on his face.
Oh, what are they doing back here now? We got the 24. That's Kobe. He's got the 30. If they're going to go 3, he's going to try to go 3 wide. Maybe think about it. I'm not sure. This isn't a good move. I think he might want to get back down.
Yeah, you want to be on those marbles up there in the wall, mate. Doesn't look too pacey, per se. And I'm not really too much of a truck expert, but I tell you what, hitting the high road is maybe not the best road.
We see Matthew. He's back on the bumper, the 87. Matthew was really shoving the truck he had in front of him earlier, but they're going to be running up on lap trucks real soon. But he's got the 87 just out in front of the 60. Now, Maines is going to try to shove Jeff. Who can shove the most and who can shove in the right spot, because you don't want to be doing it in the corners. I've saw a lot of people hook. I think drivers know that. They're going to be lifting, entering it, and kind of maybe just running.
Bump.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a friendly little tap, yeah.
Well, I've saw a lot of... Well, I've saw a lot of friendly bumps, end up very bad. But if you can do it right, it'll work out perfectly.
Friendly bumps are good bumps, but yeah, police maneuvers are not the maneuvers you need to be doing here on the track, of course. But then again, they're racing course, and we have the 87 car there of Raymond, who basically started in pole and is in pole at the moment there. Challenged by Jeff on the outside. And remember, Mr. Jeff has gained 8 positions, so hey, it's worked out for him, the 60 car there for the Toyota. Who else has gained a few positions? We got Ron in P5, getting 9 positions. With Kobe, Carey, and I know the mum out there for Cole.
It's going to be interesting to see, though.
Baker's mum out there, sorry, Baker's mum. Well, Baker at the moment, Baker's mum is running. Where is Baker?
Baker's Baker. 4th right now.
4th, there you go. Thank you very much there.
It's going to be interesting. I'm kind of looking at Kenneth and PJ. They're kind of just holding on to the pack, and they could be saving a lot of fuel doing this. They're just barely, well, they're kind of more in the draft than what they were before, but running like this might not be a bad idea, because you're kind of out of harm's way too.
The livery, they have to be teammates for that, catching everybody. Of course, there's 2 split packs at the moment, and you see how easy it is once you get that pack into the other pack. But here we go. Good racing, fantastic racing, 20 of 70, and touch wood. No caution cars just yet. Honestly, please touch wood if you can. Hit the like button, because you don't see this very often in racing. Brilliant.
They've made nobody's made any super aggressive moves. They decided to keep it in a relatively calm. Go back to the second group. This is about a 4-truck group. They're very behind off pace, so they're going to have to hope that they get a caution, because I don't think they'll be able to catch this group at all with how much is going on. But them battling might slow them down, but I just think the number of trucks up here is just too much. The 87 keeps edging out in front of Jeff, just can't get fully clear. Jeff just stays in that spot where he can't come down just yet. It's going to get, it's going to get the 60, just a chance to hold that bottom line and hold first just for a little bit longer.
I'm always really scared, isn't it? You feel the car breaking all the wind, aren't you? You have nobody to get any of the slipstream from, so you're the one breaking all the air draft, and they're going to be side by side. So this is Jeff and Raymond breaking the draft. And look at that 5-car again. I'll tell you what, Matthew Baker is happy to sit back there and just tail draft all day long. A little bit of lap traffic coming up at the moment. Shouldn't be too much of a problem if they go up to the high line where the marbles are. Lap 21.
Looks like those trucks are going to stay high, get out of the way of the leaders. But the 87, he's gotten the lead. Will he decide to come down in front of the 60, or is he just going to stay in that middle lane? Don't come down. 19 thought he was going to think about it for just a little bit. They're going to stay. Oh, Whitaker saw him get loose. The back end of his truck kicked out. Probably saw those lap trucks and didn't realize they were there at the last second. But 87, is he going to hop down now, or is he going to stay with Matthew? Because Matthew's been giving really good shoves.
I'd stay, because he's got the exit speed. Look at that. He could go to the inside line if he really wanted to. There's enough space. He's dedicated to, say, basically the middle line at the moment you mentioned, which is obviously forming into the second line. So he's happy to battle it out to 60 in the inside, which is Jeff. Once again, we're going to resume with that 2-lane highway here. And shake and bake is what they call it, isn't it, in this track?
Yeah, that's what they call it. Ricky Bobby shake and bake with Cal Witherspoon. But you see the 60 kind of battles back every now and then. And the 87 just pulls ahead. So it's kind of whenever Maines can get to the 60's bumper and give him a really good shove. But Maines just isn't able to get there exactly just yet. He kind of loses it and he gains it. Matthew's more glued to the 87 than Maines is. So I think that's why the 87's been able to really battle. But the 60, he's hanging tough on that bottom. That bottom, they're starting to gain more trucks than the top lane. And that might just be kind of the death sentence to the middle lane. As I say that, they've gotten a huge shove. 87 goes right by the 60 again. It seems on the straights. That's their sweet spot. That's where they can really get something going, as he's actually gotten out very far now. Matthew can maybe follow.
Look right there. They lose a little bit of the exit speed in the high line. And this is going to be the difficult situation because we're going to be coming obviously to another round of pit stops coming up under hopefully just green flag conditions. And I would be like, what are you going to work? And the undercut didn't really pay off, did it, before? So what are you going to do? I mean, maybe an undercut might pay off, an overcut staying out longer. I'm not quite sure. Fuel in there. How much splash and dash did you do? But at this point, if you're getting in there and you're gaining, I'm saying you're around about P9 or P6 at the moment, which is Kerry Whitaker. Of course, he's gained 9 positions. Do you take a little bit of a gamble and maybe box early and see if you can gain some positions? That's the key.
I mean, if it was me, knowing that this is a super speedway, I wouldn't pit on an off cycle. I'd pit whenever these guys pit, because if you get off cycle and you have nobody with you, you are going to go a lap down so quick. It's ridiculous. So if I was Whitaker and if I was these guys, you can maybe break into 2 packs again, because it didn't necessarily work out for one of them, but it didn't hurt them in the long run because they were able to catch the draft of Ron and be able to pull themselves right back up there with them. So it didn't hurt too bad for them, but they got to be really careful when they get into pit road sometimes. They were able to get in there very good. No drivers had any incidents, but see if they can do that again. Drivers, they might have adjusted their brake bias just a little bit, trying to get a little bit deeper in pit road, and that's when you can see a lot of accidents happen. Drivers just spin out trying to get in super deep. We'll have to see within about 5 to 7 laps when they should come back down pit road again.
You're right, Bricey, because it's like if you're back in the pack at the moment, you're so close to everybody else and you're packed in at the moment, isn't it? You're like jammed in. It's like if you decide I want to go to pit road, well, if you're on the outside of the lane, there's nowhere to go. You're stuck. You can't go on the pit lane. If you go on the pit lane, of course, you're going to just crush everybody else out. So if you're on the outside lane, there's no chance. You've got to be on the inside lane, and you have to move into the inside lane. As you can see, the blue car in the background, they're just moving around a little bit loosey-goosey, and the 5 car still managing. That's Mr. Matthew Baker, of course, and Raymond is just edging on that one, the 87 car on the inside line. We should switch one back there. That should be Jeff. Coming back, and the inside lane gets a massive more speed here. They should be almost side-by-side, straight on, banking, bang, done. And once again, I'm pretty new to this, so I'm thanking much Brucey for allowing me into the custody box of you.
He's got just that quarter panel, and that quarter panel, when you just get just a little bit of it, you saw drivers in real life, during NASCAR races, they try to get to that quarter panel, and it will just suck that car right back to them. They're not really side drafting super hard, but the 87, Matthew finally go down to the bottom. They realize that that's going to leave Ron to lead the outside, but he doesn't have a big number of trucks. But I've saw 3 vehicles be able to just run that outside lane, but it may just be too much for them to overcome. We'll have to see. But Matthew, he's been pushing the whole night. Very good, it seems. He knows how to run this track so far. It looks like Ron, he's got the 23 of Whitaker behind him. They've got the 11. I believe that's not the actual 11. That's a lap truck behind them of Nathan Harper.
This is absolutely fantastic racing, mate. Could this be a historical first that we're going to have green flag all the way? I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, you just cursed him right there. You cursed him right there, Biggles.
It's not going to happen. Ignore that. Let's beep it out. Let's go, but let's go racing, of course, and we're going racing, of course. The 87 car started on pole, doing the pole job right now. But look at that. Ron Morris, the 25 car, is gained. Well, there he is, a little bit of a tangle. He's third or so, but 11 positions gained. I'd take that one any day of the week. He'd be my Uber driver.
I was talking about, I don't know if they would be able to overcome it. They seem to overcome just the amount of trucks they have. It's not as much as the bottom, but they've been able to fight to get back to Baker. They're slowly getting up there. They have the lap trucks behind them, so I'm sure they don't mind the help of their draft at all, because lap trucks, they're not in their way. They're actually helping them get up there. We'll just have to see, when will Whitaker push? When will he decide to bump the 76? This is when you would want to do it ideally right now. You want to be lined up pretty even with them, with these trucks. Compared to the Xfinity and the Cup cars, their front end's pretty flat when you get to the Xfinity. The noses of the Chevys are very pointed, and they're even more pointed in the Cup Series. They're like a V at the end of it, so drivers can't really shove with them. But here, they're pretty even. This front end's being so flat for these drivers, they don't truly have to worry about it at all.
20 out of 70 of grueling green Green Flag Racing, of course, with only just one pit stop there. You guys feel to join our Facebook group, of course. Hit Ever NASCAR. This is Brilliant Racing. And guess what? You can get a little bit of cash. Of course, Friday nights, Saturday nights, we have tons of racing. They're racing for cash, entering for cash. We might have a crash.
Oh, we do.
Anything that rhymes with cash. And then there it is.
Let's see what happened here. Oh, 13 turns the 8. 2. Oh, my gosh. So he about clips the 5. They're going to stay green on that one, though, because it was so far back in the pack. So we saw that. Ron has lost it.
Look, we're still green. And that was, I think, Christopher McLean, wasn't it? But, yeah, all right. I like it. We're still back at it.
Ron, he's hanging tough on that outside lane. He saw him really behind on the front stretch, or the back stretch, but he's able to really fight. It's just something with that middle lane when they run it all the time. It just seems to work out very good. As here comes pit stops now. Knew it was going to be soon.
Yep.
Oh, somebody missed it, actually. 2 of them missed it.
Yeah, it was a brake checker. I saw a ton of smoke there as I locked up the rears. But here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heading to the pit lane at the moment. And it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, that Baker might be the first one in the pit lane here.
Yeah,
in and out quickly, splash and dash.
Drivers are only going to take fuel. Only no point in taking tires at all here unless you've absolutely just locked them up, flat spotted them horribly. It'll be fuel only. They'll get it full. Maybe you can take right sides during that. But Matthew, he might win the race off pit road. He will. We'll see. What will the second group do now?
That was a good pit stop. Remember, it's all about spotting your box, isn't it? The quicker you can get there, the microsecond you can get there makes all the difference. Here's the second pack. They have to box at some point. But when, where, how, why? And they are some coming in. 1, 2, maybe 3.
So they're going to drag 5 trucks with them. Some of those are lap trucks. They won't mind them joining them at all. But we saw 2 people miss pit road, almost hit the cone. They just decided to be like, I'm just going to keep on going. Going down there, as you see the little straggler, I believe that is the 24 of Cody Supton. He missed it. He was one of the trucks that missed it. But these guys are going to come down. We'll see where they merge when they come back out. Last time they were pretty far behind. They were able to catch the draft of Morris, but see where they come out now.
Because John stayed out. John Brink leading this race, but this is the second pack there. And the second pack is being led currently by Matthew Baker, who's made the pit stop, the 5 car. But he's been obviously he's dragging along Jeff there in the 60 car. So where are the other gladiators going to come out in the moment? Well, Souls per se.
Looks like
it's pit lane.
Oh, it might be what we saw last time again. They're going to probably maybe catch the draft of these trucks coming. These little stragglers back. You can see these guys just in that background just a little bit. They might be able to catch the draft of them, or if they can get lined up fast enough and start shoving each other, they can hold on to the draft. They're going to have to see if Kenneth and PJ, Ron needs to get in line. He doesn't need to be doing this. This is only going to hurt them even more. See, Ron needs to get in line. This is not what they need at this point. I think Ron realizes it. Whitaker realizes it. These guys are going to jump down. They're going to try to go catch Jason Maines, but he's 3 seconds in front of them, so it's going to be very hard to catch him if they do. They're actually losing time ever so slightly as the 8's in. He's going to go, I think, back a lap down.
John eventually came in and out. How much time is that going to cost John? He was leading this race, 10 positions gained. Look at that. They're going to pass him. John's going to feel the pressure. He might slot in behind that P6, I think, that PJ, if he's lucky.
He might get in right behind PJ. I think he will. He might have the speed for it. Yeah, I think he'll be able to do it. We'll have to watch him real quick, see if he does it. Oh, that's not a good idea. He's only spotty place he has to go. He'll probably hold on to Whitaker's bumper when he goes by. Hopefully, he realizes that he gets right behind him as soon as he can. Wants to hold on to the draft. Can he get it fast enough, though? But he's still coming up to speed, even in the corner.
He's got it. Look at that.
Oh, he actually...
I'd have to say no problemo, mate. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, he's barely got it. He was losing time for just half a second. Maybe the 76 will even help him. That's a lap truck. Yeah, he's definitely got it now, so he should be fine. This group's going to have to go try to catch PJ, or the bumper of Maine.
What's Matthew going to do now? Because Matthew's not really led this race before. He's the man that's been happy to sit there and just bump draft everybody else. But now he's the man that's been bump draft. And that's been bump draft by Jeff, who's gained 7 positions in the 60 car, just behind, happy to sit behind. So how is Matthew now going to handle it? And Matthew knows his mum's down there in pit lane there. Give him a wave. But don't worry about your mum right now, Matthew. And continue to lead this race. That pit stop has worked perfectly for him. A little bit of lap traffic, hopefully going on the high road on the outside. They are. So there's your 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lead this race on lap 33 with no cautions, touch wood.
We're going to have to see. I want to see what Kenneth and this group can do back here. They're all lined up. They decided not to fight. So they're going to have the numbers. It's whenever they decide to push each other. is when it's really going to come down. It's what it's going to really come down to, because they're far behind, but they've actually shaved off, I believe, a second from Mains. So they might be catching them ever so slightly. It's going to take them a while to get to them. Yep, they're definitely shaving off time. It was at 4. It's at 3.9 now, so they're gaining very, very slowly. But they're going to pick up this lap truck up to 316 behind him. It's going to help their draft even more. Kenneth's probably going to try to pick up these lap trucks. We saw right there kind of faded out. I think that's a 70, the 96. That is DJ Daniel. He'll probably try to pick him up. Kenneth is going to try to get all the people that he can, because he's definitely gaining on Mains. It's just very, very slowly right now.
Yeah, you're looking currently at the moment there before, you're looking at the PJ Kenneth. That's the P5, P6. They're the ones that are straggling along behind this P5 battle, as you can see, for the top 5 gladiators. That's Matthew, that's Jeff, that's Raymond, that's Jason, and then PJ. And then that's when you see the other little squabble behind. That's the 24 car. And that's when you get into that little second battle that's occurring. A little bit too far back to catch that draft, but all battles are battles, aren't they? 35 to 70. 2 pit stops down. Lots of motor racing to go. Lots of money up for grabs here.
Well, they're going to have to see who's out in front of them. I think they're kind of evened out now, especially that these trucks behind them have been able to tuck in. So they're kind of even. I think that might even it out between these two groups, because it looks like it evened out between Mains and PJ, not really gaining at all, because these lap trucks have started to help them, but it looks like we'll go back a little bit. You kind of have some groups that have formed
Bryce,
up.
I don't know if you could actually pull up a track map at the moment so we can kind of get an idea. I know you're doing all the producing and casting. There you go. Thank you very much. Gives you an idea of those little backs. So you see the 1 and the 5. They're the 2 packs that we're looking at. Currently at the moment, we're looking at James. Now, James is a little bit further back. James is currently running at about P12, and he's on that pack. So packs everywhere, of course.
It's kind of an odd, because drivers maybe just a little bit of a pit entrance issue, maybe pit stop issue. They're just not having a good pit stop in general. It's kind of broken them up into groups, and the only thing that can really bring them together is a caution at this point. But they've been racing pretty clean so far, a little bit past halfway now, but we'll have to see. Looks like PJ is just losing a little bit of time to Jason every now and then, so it's definitely going to be hard for him to catch him now.
No radio messages at the moment, but yeah, pit stop's done. Second pit stop, 36.70. So the halfway point is basically signed, sealed, and delivered. Lick the stamp and send it. Here we are. So they say shake and bake. Well, shaking and baking, my friend. 60's trying to shake and bake Mr. Matthew into a mistake, perhaps. And don't forget about Raymond, who started on pole position, running currently in P3. Jason just behind him, currently starting and ending at the moment where he is. So all those pit stops done and dusted. They're still racing for outside lane. There will be a lapped car of the 22. They're still going to continue. Really good racing, really good motorsport here. That's what you expect, isn't it, my friend? HSR trucks.
Yeah, I mean, HSR, they've had a couple races every now and then where it's a little bit caution fest. Then they've really cleaned it up, especially, Taryn, he got really strict on the rules. He's not here tonight, so it's Andrew. He's running the show. So it's always fun to see our HSR. They've really started to pick up what they do. They mainly run trucks, because that seems to be what most people like to run. Pretty easy to handle with the draft, and I think that's a pretty good choice for them to run. Always averaging about 20 trucks a field, it seems, and that's what they've averaged tonight.
Fun. Am I not kidding? This is absolutely fun. You're going to get this sort of racing all the time. And we're not talking about caution racing. We're talking about absolutely green flag racing. Good strategy, of course. Strategy is going to be the key right now. We're not going to rely on those caution cars. Once again, we do miss, obviously, our man that had to, obviously, family first. Absolutely number one. Family first. Yep, I'm sure he would have been here on the air with all these other gladiators and trucks. But at the moment, it's the 24 car that you're looking at, which is PJ, and that's P5 in that separate group.
Yeah, I'm looking at PJ. He's actually, it went from 4 to 3.6 now, and that's off of Jason Mains. That's not counting off of the bumper of DJ, who's actually the lap truck that's behind them. So they've been gaining time ever so slowly, but within about 8 to 9 laps, pit stops should happen again for them. So it'll be interesting to see, will this group come down with them, or will they try to jump them and pit a lap earlier and get out in front of them? It's going to be interesting to see how the pit strategy, Ron, almost hooks Kenneth. That was almost terrible. You saw the flames come out of Whitaker's tailpipes. He knew he had to lift, and all the drivers lifted out of it. Ron gets getting off the bottom again. That's asking to get turned. He's got to be careful with that.
You're not getting anybody to turn. Come on, Bryce. It's not going to happen.
Oh, I
They're
saw
gonna
it.
go green flag. I mean, one little mistake. I thought some wrong drivers so far, but so good, so far, so good. I've got 27 drivers in this grueling arena. It's a classic arena, but they're all doing it. Matthew leading this race there from Jeff, and we're looking at PJ currently, and we're going back to Matthew leading this race, the 5 car. He doesn't mind. He's been the man that's been behind everybody else bump drafting at the moment. He's the one that's been bumped and drafted by Jeff. Gained 4 positions for Matthew, and that's 7 positions gained by Jeff Merrick. That's sitting just behind him, happy to be the Stone River racer in this 50 car.
Yeah, he was getting a shove, or Matthew, no, it was Jeff getting a shove from Matthew earlier, but Matthews decided to go out in front. He wants to try to run it now, and you see Jeff, he's just glued to the bumper of Matthew by this point. We'll actually go from gearbox view just to show you what it looks like from Matthew's bumper pretty much.
Don't tease me.
Oh, look at that, faithful.
His focus.
Just
it's so hard, isn't it? Because you have to lift a little bit early, don't you? You don't know what the car's doing up the road. You got to just balance it. You look at the rear bumper. What do? Lift, coast, accelerate, gear shift, downshift. I don't know. You also got the 87 car. Remember in the background there, Raymond. He's the man started on pole, so you can definitely win this race any day of the week. 41 of 70. Brycey, are you hyped?
And my drivers kept it clean. Nothing big yet, but PJ, he has really starting to eat into the lead, or to the lead that Maines has over him. It's below 3 seconds now, so they've been working something to where they've been deciding to bump draft each other. If they can catch, I believe that's the 22, if they can catch just a little sniff of the draft from him, that will be absolutely great for him, because he'll be able to pull right up to the bumper of him. Yes, that is a 22. He's a straggler. He's a lap down, I believe. Yes, he is. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can get to him. This might change the pit strategy. They might come in with this group again, because they've pitted a lap later, and it's just not worked out for them at all, it seems.
It's a pit strategy at the moment, isn't it? One-on-one. You need to rely on your spotter here to call all the plays. If they have spotters, of course. I hope you have spotters. There's big money up for grabs here. That's why you're racing this league, of course. You put the money in, you invest it. Are you going to cash out? That's going to be the key. At the moment, Matthew's the one that's going to be sitting there. He has a whole pipe full of Jeff. And don't mention just Jeff, of course, down the road there. He has Raymond, he has Jason. And then PJ's a little bit further down the road, as you mentioned. They're slowly catching this pack, and almost, actually, I have to say, they would be almost within bumper range and slipstream range.
I think they actually might be. I think because the 22's a lap down, I think they might have caught the sniff of the draft from him. Yep, it looks like, from my point of view, that looks like that's below. You know, it's kind of about an area where you catch the draft. It's about 0.7 of a second back is when you can catch it. Yep, they definitely caught it from the 22, so they've been able to work their way back up and reconnect with this pack. It's just something that they've been able to do surprisingly. They decided to line up, decided to start bump drafting each other here. So it's definitely worked for them now, but pitting later might not be a good idea, because they saw how long it took for them to get back to the bumper of these guys in front of them.
That's true, mate. What do you do if you get multiply 4? It equals 8. And guess what? The 4 parties turned into an 8 party, so mathematics 101. Now we have a great grueling race. Now it comes down to, and I have to say PJ, because PJ put in the last lap was the fastest lap. And he did it because he caught the pack. Unfortunately, now he won't be able to put in the fastest laps, but he's caught everybody needed to be. So they're going to go the 2 lanes. Perhaps that little middle lane that we mentioned earlier, but hey, it's a little bit early to risk this one. 43 of 70. Pit stops coming up soon now. Will be the big play, won't they, Bruce?
Yeah, and no, PJ, I think he might have decided, because he was leading that pack back there. He's going to be, a little bit lower on fuel than the guys behind them. So staying behind the 22 might be the best call for him, because he's able to stretch his fuel maybe just half a lap here, and that'll get him on the same fuel strategy. But they'll be able to judge off these guys in front of them when to go down pit road. If they shoot down pit road, it wouldn't be surprising to see PJ follow them.
It's got to be the gamble now, strategy. It's going to be up to your engineers. It's going to be up to your spotters to kind of call the play. And they're all light as stone, which is brilliant. So obviously you're not in that situation where here we go. Now there's it's a play, mate. I think they just.
Oh, somebody's turn back there. That's Ryan turns, and Whitaker almost misses pit road. He does.
Oh.
So accident. I believe that's Kenneth. So accident getting on pit road.
I think it was Kerry, maybe. Let's have a look. Yeah.
I saw somebody else go on pit road. You see Kerry's kind of the straggler. So this is gonna hurt him. I believe that was actually Kenneth who got turned in the back. Yes, that was
now
him.
It's gonna be how good your teams are. How can you splash your dash as quickly as possible, you know?
Oh, that's
Shake and
bad.
bake?
The 316 you saw him have to reverse it. Will he come out with the pack? Even that split second of going in reverse can hurt you. He's got to hope that you can hang with him. It's going to be a 4-truck battle. Oh, my gosh. Drivers coming off pit road, using up all the exit that they can. Have to see Ron.
Where's this going to pan out? So Stone River got it done. He's been following, hasn't he? He's been absolutely following Matthew Baker. But Matthew Baker now also behind everybody here. So you have 60 car leading, 21 car of, who was that, Jason? Further back, you got Raymond. And then you have Matthew Baker. So 60 pit stop has been brilliant for that Gladiator.
Saw a catastrophe for some of those trucks getting in there, trying to get in there super aggressive. Whitaker kind of overshot it. He's still in pit road right now, maybe waiting for these other guys with him. You can see he's got some damage on his left front fender. It's going to be hard for him, but we've got other people down pit road. These guys are off cycle too. That's the 34 of Lawrence stamped as a 5 this race. He's brought down some other people with him, some lap trucks involved. You see Kenneth. Looks like he got hit, just decided to stay out. Might as well do it. They're going to go a lap down more than likely here. They will go very quick. Got the 96 of DJ not having the night that he's wanted at all, it seems. Having just a very tough night. He's had a tough 2 weeks in general for his racing career.
25 to go in Talladega. They say shake and bake, everybody. We've all seen the movie. But this is not a movie. This is not scripted. This is what you call real man racing. Man versus machine, woman versus machine. It doesn't matter. Anybody that control that car in the places you need to be. That's what it is. Jason leading. From Jeff leading from Jason, from Raymond, from Matthew, from PJ a little bit further down the road. This is going to be absolutely exciting. What do you want to do? Money's on the line. Pride's on the line. Racing's on the line. Enjoy the entertainment. And that's going to be absolutely brought to you by Brucey, whatever you call yourself, my friend. You're boying it. How is it going? 25 to go. Can you call it right now?
And you know, this is going to get interesting now because it's 24 laps. They pitted on lap 44, but you can pit again on the edge of the pit window. But you got to have people that go with you. So we might see trucks with 14 to 15 laps to go shoot down pit road. It's going to be a strategy call from most of the drivers, but a lot of people you see they're all broken up. So it's kind of really a 4-truck battle. Look there on the track map. Yeah, you can see everybody's kind of spaced out. It's really only this group that's working. But Maines has been able to stay up front. Jeff's been able to stay up front. Raymond's been able to stay up front. And Matthew Baker, he's been able to stay up front. And a funny story with him, I actually ran a A-Class Open. Didn't even realize I broadcasted for him until he looked down at my name, and I make fun of him for that now. So, Matthew, if you watch the stream, just know that, man, yeah, I do broadcast and I do run A-Class Opens. And I'll be in some races with you. But he's kind of the straggler on this pack right now. He probably doesn't mind it because he's just able to stay back there and draft off the bumper, the 87. So probably not going to be bad for him.
Traffic up the road too. What's the traffic? Could be highlighted an inside line traffic.
It's the 40 and the 24. The 40 can't go anywhere right now. The 24, oh no, this is not going to be good. The 40's got to get up. They're going to be boxed in. What? Oh, this is not going to be good. 60 lifts. The 40 just goes down to the apron. The 40 really couldn't move because the 24 was stuck on his outside. 60, you saw the flames coming out of his tailpipe, and when they do that, that's a telltale signature that they are fully out of the throttle. But look what that's done to Baker now. He got off the bumper.
Baker's lost it. Slips. Yeah, you're right. I didn't know about the flame draft. Thank you very much for allowing me. I'm loving truck series at the moment, mate. I'm learning. I wouldn't want to be in these cars grueling and driving, but he's caught back up again. So whatever that cost him a little bit of time, the 5's managed to make it work. That's Matthew Baker.
Yeah, whenever you see flames, normal cars, they've got a catalytic converter, a different exhaust system. But when you see flames coming out of these cars, that means that they are fully out of the throttle, and that's just actually pure fuel that's just being combusted, that's been left over. As you can see, some of them popping up. You can see it every now and then they lift out of the throttle, and that's when the fire comes out. Just that extra fuel being burned off. But the 87 wiggles there for a little bit. The 24, that's a lap truck. He's just tucked in behind them. You see Derek Raleigh won last night, not having a good night. Most of these guys are actually a lap down because pit's just not worked out for them at all, it seems. It's been very hard for some of these drivers. It's really only a 4-truck battle at this point. As you can see,
it's because, Brycey, they're not expected not have any cautions. And we're not going to tap that little... We're not even going to go into that situation, are we? Because all I'm saying is green, green, green. Green, green equals go, go, go. I'm loving it. And I would love to see a fact that we can have a full green race. And that would be brilliant. But we have racing right now. We have Ed Saber. We have back Marcus. We have players. We have Jeff leading this race. We have Jason there. We have Raymond. We have entertainment tooth and nail. We're not going to curse this one. 21 to go. Can we see a green flag race
I'm kind of
all the way.
I'm looking at this group right now. If these two trucks that are on the outside decide to line up behind the 22s, looks like they'll do. I don't think PJ can make up this much of a difference, but maybe he can get him a little bit closer, and he might decide to pit on the edge of his window to try to jump these guys that are leading, because that's the only hope that he has at this point. I don't see them catching them at all, so PJ's really only got one choice, coming a lap earlier than the trucks that are leading right now to try to hop them. It's the only option that he truly has, unless something drastic happens, but that's what these super speedways are known for. You know, you can go from leading to being in the wall to flipping up in the air. And as we had the 18, that was actually Danny Eshelman last night, was spinning like a top. We got somebody to crash.
Don't you go talk about anybody spinning, mate. I want anybody spinning. I want anybody pointing in the right direction. I know you were trying to get that one.
Man, you know, sometimes you want to see a crash.
Can the fuel go to the end right now? Can the fuel go to the end?
They will actually have one more pit stop because they pitted on lap 44.
All right, that's going to be the tricky one right now, isn't it? That's going to be the ultimate strategy, I'd say.
You might see people within 5 to 6 laps. That's when they're going to start to go down pit road. That's when they're going to have to be their final stop of the night. Unless there's an overtime, then they're going to have to stretch the fuel. Some drivers may run out. Some drivers may come back down pit road to top off, but...
Don't you go calling more overtime stuff. I know you're looking for those cautions. It's not going to happen, Ricey. It's not going to happen. Not on my watch.
Mains, he's just sticking to the bumper to 60. Probably fine to drive back here. So, you know, he's a road to pro driver, so he's got some skill here. He knows how to run them. His brother, I believe that's his brother, ran in one of the races here last week. Decided not to show up this week here. And this is a big money fields. We got a whole pack back here. What is going on?
Justin? Did we get a crash from Justin?
Yeah, I think that it was just something that was somewhere else. I don't think it was. So we'll go back and look real quick, see what happened with him. Looks like he...
Oh, pit lane entrance, that's all it is. Yeah, you look at that battle, but as you mentioned just before, that's the key, isn't it? The second one.
I think he might have just given up. He decided he had no chance, just decided to go back down pit road. His night might be over. I think that's what he's decided to do. Yet he's not registering any speed, so I think he's decided to give up on his hopes of winning some money tonight. That group back there is kind of...
Win some, you lose some, that's what it's all about. This other battle you mentioned there, this Ron that we're looking at, the P5 position, that's a little bit down from the P1 and P2, P3, 4, but this is where it is all grueling out for some crucial positions, and Ron is the man in the lead of this challenge.
These are all lap trucks in front of him, so it's kind of in a weird spot. He's around a lot of trucks that doesn't matter. He's in the last money-paying position. He's got to also watch out for PJ, but Kerry's going to go with Ron. Go back up front here. We'll let them battle that out. This group here has picked up some other people. You see Kenneth Stanford got hit, or actually missed pit road, just decided to go around. He's lost a lap. They've also picked up these lap trucks behind them. Probably deciding to play pretty nice, but you'll see within probably 4 laps maybe is when you might see people come down pit road. It's going to be interesting to see what will PJ and Ron do. And will they drag these lap trucks behind them? Because the lap trucks, maybe they can make a deal. You know, say, you know, you don't have a chance, I don't have a chance. Why don't we just go in on the edge of the pit window and see what can happen here?
I like a bit of fuel saving if you can. That'll be the crucial key, isn't it? If you're the car a little bit behind there, you can fuel save, lift and coast. Maybe an edge, half a gallon tank could make all the difference. You get one more lap, that could make everything. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just a car star. I'm sitting in the air conditioning room with you, my friend. It's all good. Keep the snacks going, mate. Absolutely keep the snacks going. Keep the racing going. 17 to go on our Saturday night racing entertainment. It's fun, it's thrilling, and it's brilliant. Bring the popcorn and the peanuts.
It's definitely going to be interesting. I want to see what the drivers are going to do on pit stops because they're not going to be able to make it. So I think they might just pit on maybe a little bit past the edge of the fuel window. But we're going to have to see what they do because they're definitely going to have to come in again because they're just flat out not going to make it on fuel. I know that for a fact. They go about 15 to 16 and maybe 17 sometimes on a tank. You know, it's not a full tank. It's the percentage that they've set. So you have to go down pit road here. You see a little bit of action. You see Derek moving around the back. They're kind of getting a little bit squirrely. Some trucks maybe checking up every now and then. Maybe they might be running half throttle. Not fully sure.
I don't think they're fully gassed, man. Yeah, they're lifting. They're lifting. And that's the problem because Jeff can't lift because he's the one that's leading. So he's the one that has to break the win. He's the one that has to put the gas pedal to the loudest. Everybody else can kind of lift and coast a little bit in the background. That's going to be the key, isn't it, for your pit stop times, that last splash and dash.
You know, drivers will come down When they come down, no tires, fuel only, so they can get off and away, but they have to be careful getting in. Even oversliding your pit box for just half a second can end your night because you have to go into reverse for maybe a second, if that at most, and just that small little amount will just end it. I've saw many people do that. Looks like Derek, he's going to shoot to the bottom. Something might be happening. These trucks are checking up just a little bit up in front of him because Derek wouldn't be moving around like that unless he's having to kind of dodge.
He's in control. He's in control of this one right now. He's contemplating right now if he's engineer. Do we box or not? That's going to be the key because everybody's spotting him. You have race spotters, but I'll tell you what, he is the race spotter. He's the one that's going to be deciding to go in the pit lane. Everybody's going to follow. That'll be the key. And how much time do you have to react?
He decides to stay out. This is just going to get even more interesting.
How long can they go, mate? Are you saying about 10 max?
So what I saw from this, the percentage that they're at, the least they can go is 15. The most I saw them go is about 17 laps on a tank. These cars pitted at lap 44, so they'll make it to lap 59 if they go on schedule. You can go off schedule right now and come down pit road and be able to make it. That's what PJ might want to do. That's what Ron might to do. That's what those lap cars with them might want to do, so they can be able to at least get up there with the leader, maybe get their lap back. It's really, actually most of the field is a lap down. Everybody's been lapped by these guys, it seems, tonight. It's really a 4-truck battle here.
I'm just curious if the guys that have a little bit more gas in the tank there, what sort of lap times do you have? I mean, obviously, you can't judge it from Jeff because Jeff is breaking the wind, of course, and Jeff has all the dirty air, so Jeff has to just slice it at 21, kind of like slipstream behind there, a little bit on the outside there with lap car. But that'll be the key, and everybody else, don't count out, of course, Raymond, don't count out Matthew, don't count out Ron. They're all slipping behind there, judging at the strategy. They're on the pit lane right now, talking to the engineers, going, okay, guys, what sort of strategy can we win? 13 to go. If we had to box, something has to happen soon. Otherwise, we're going to either eke whatever fumes or fuel we have in this gas tank, and there's something on the outside, and that's the 30 car and the 24. So a little action happening in the back there.
Now they're a lap down, so really what they do doesn't hurt the leaders. I sure hope, but I'm glad. Oh, actually, as we talk about pit stops, there they all come down pit road. Knew it had to be soon. All got to get in very clean. 24 locks them up. 87. Oh, the 13 goes around.
Up too much, mate, on the ABS.
He's got his brake bias set just too far to the back. That sends him right around.
Pit lane right now, isn't it, mate? All eyes are on the pit lane. Who's going to be in and out as quick as possible? You should say, spot your braking point, get ready so that the fuel man can get that gas tank in there, pumped as quickly as possible. So this is it.
Last pit stop for these guys here.
We should pause for a commercial and come back on this one. No, look at this. Oh, it's going to be close.
21 beats 21. Them out.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
21.60 and 87.
But look at Baker. What's happened to him? He's actually fallen back a lot.
He's got about the 24. 24's got the outside line too. He should be able to get ahead of him. Yes, he will.
I think the 24
Sorry
realizes.
Matthew Baker's mum out there, but yeah, you can let us know what happened to Matthew Baker. But hey, it ain't over yet, of course. 12 to go. There it is. So the last pit stops you'd mentioned, my friend. This is it.
I knew they'd take him soon, but Matthew, he might be able to catch draft of Raymond. I think Raymond might be dragging his brake a little bit, looking at the time and the gap between him and Raymond. I think Raymond is deciding to do that. They might try to drag the 24 with him also. But now Ron Morris and PJ, they really only got one hope here. Is they've got to hope something comes out. But as they've been racing tonight, and I don't think that's truly going to happen for them. They've kind of made their bed at this point. It's going to be interesting. They're going to have to just stay out for as long as they can, it seems. I mean, you can maybe run. I don't think there's nobody going to be able to stretch it. Nearly 26 laps, and how long the tank lasts. So they kind of, they're in their deathbed right now. They've only got one choice at this point, and this late in the race. But Baker,
I tell you what, if Ron can do it, that'd be brilliant, isn't it? Because everybody else might have two chances to win this race, Slim and none. I'll tell you what, Slim might have just left town because Ron Morris, man, 13, 12 positions, but he's got pressure. It ain't over. As PJ is in the house, but PJ's in the pit lane at the moment, and Ron's in the pit lane, so that it might be very much over on that one. So my slim chance of going on my casting career.
It looks like
yeah, it is what it is.
They'll probably be very far back. They're only going to be 2 trucks. Yeah, they're going to absolutely blow by them.
It's Jason.
see Matthew, he lost some spots. He's able to get back with, I think Justin decided to, or not Justin, Raymond decided to drag his brake back to him, not hang out Matthew, leave him alone there. So these guys, they'll get money, but it's going to be up between PJ and Ron. What's going to happen between these two guys now? It's going to be very interesting because that's the last pain position, I believe, for this night.
Now it's Jason, it's Jeff, it's Raymond, it's Matthew, and it's PJ. That's it. Points pain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'd have to say that's it. I don't think anybody else can even come close. 10 to go. And I tell you what, please, 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 guys, this could be the first green flag race we've had all season. Make my dreams come true.
We'll have to see, when it comes
buy
down.
You ice cream.
Yeah, when it comes down to the line, it seems drivers tend to get a little bit more aggressive, and that's when moves will be made.
Don't you hype them up. Don't you hype them up.
Well, that's not really hyping them up. Right now they really won't be doing much. They'll just be deciding to ride. There's no real point in trying to go for each other. But within 2 to 3 laps, that's when action will definitely start to happen. And being the leader on super speedways, the last lap is always really nerve-wracking because those drivers behind you are just licking their chops. They're trying to set you up for something, and if nobody goes with you, you are going to be hung out to dry, and you are going to drop the anchor, and you're going to go straight to the back of the line, maybe even straight to the back of the pack. That is.
I'll take a bit of cash, mate. P1, P2, P3, P4. It doesn't matter. She's not his spotter. But I'll tell you what, if that man get P4, I'll take that one any day of the week. That's a bit of cash. So at the moment, well, it's up to Jason. The man's gained 3 positions. Got to look at Jeff that's right behind him there in the 60 car. He's gained 7. So Jeff would have to say is the truck man of all truck men.
He's gained 7 spots. 7 positions.
But don't count out Raymond, my friend. The man started on pole. He's very capable, that 87 car, of getting a race win. Of course, don't count out Matthew Baker because his mum's in the chat, so he's got a little bit of a support in the crowd. 8 to go.
Matthew and the 87, if it, maybe soon, maybe they can get these lap trucks behind them. If they want to get that middle lane going, they could get it going right about now. Might be waiting to show their hand, not want to make the move too early. I think that's what they could be planning here. They have time to plan for it. 7 more laps, so they don't have to necessarily make the move right now. You see Robert Lawrence is in the background. Nathan Harper, he's behind Lawrence. So it's going to be interesting to see what these drivers start to do as the laps start to wind down here at Talladega.
Yeah, Brycey, you've done this a few times, mate, a lot more longer than me, and thank you very much for allowing me in the custody box. But at the moment, if you are Jeff, you want to take this to the 21 car of Jason, where do you avoid? I mean, if you go and break that air on the outside lane, then all of a sudden you're in a different territory. Where can he do it? Will he do it?
Well, if I was Jeff, you've got the 87 behind you down in the corner. You can maybe lay off, just a little bit, crack your throttle, and then coming off the corner, get that full throttle, get that run from the 87, and just hold and just pray that you can get just to the quarter panel of Maines and be able to drag him right back to you. That's what he's going to have to do. See, he's getting runs, but he's deciding just to shove Maines right now. So he's been getting them, just not taking the opportunity that's been represented to him.
Maines, at the moment, you've got 6 laps to go. Where do you park that car in all the right places so that you can sit there and sit the checkered flag there and go, it's mine, the money's mine, the race is mine, and the green flag all the way could be very much mine. So he's going to be thinking that, isn't it? I would always say, snap those rear mirrors off. Just focus on your race, mate. It's yours if you want to win it.
At this point in the race, spotters, and they do radioactive, they'll be saying, don't look in your mirror. I've got you. Don't be looking in that at all, as I think Maines probably had to decide, I don't want to be looking at my rear view. Maybe has to be looking just a little bit every now and then to see when the run's coming and what Jeff will do with it. Jeff's been very content with staying behind Maines so far, so he's not been really wanting to make many moves just yet.
He's going to make a run. I guarantee he's ready to make a run. He's been lining up at the moment. Look at the 6 car. If he has to make a run, he has to make a run pretty soon, I would say, and be very careful of Raymond, the man that started on pole. He's lurking in the background, so you're looking forward, looking backwards. Maines is the man under pressure, but it means if you can do it, my friend, you're going to win this race. And a whole of points coming your way. 5 to go.
Yeah, but if Jeff makes the move and nobody goes with him, he's going to have to get in line at the very last truck. So if he does it and nobody goes, it's going to definitely, not get him out of the pain position, just going to reduce his pace. So he's got to plan when he makes the move, and he's got to hope that he's really at the mercy of Raymond and Matthew. Whoever goes with him they're going to have to commit to that lane that he hops up into. You can see he's getting a run, but he's just not taking it just yet. Maybe thinking just a little bit longer, I don't want to take it exactly right now. So you can see he's getting a run through the tribal. Very good. He gets up to the bumper of Mains. He just doesn't take it just yet.
Really keep an eye out for 87 car as well, because I think he can seize his opportunity. Raymond, remember, the man that qualified on pole. He's looking, he's sneaking this. He's also starting that P1, P2 situation. But I think all the pressure right now is on Jeff. All the pressure, of course, is definitely on Jason. But what's going to happen? The 4 laps, they're clicking. Click, 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 tick-tock, tick-tock. That's the thing. It's helping out Jason. He's happy. More laps, the better. But the problem is right now, JF is going to be sizing up an opportunity. And if I'll tell you, if that man makes a mistake, Raymond will sneak that one any day of the week. 4 to go. I need a defibrillator.
I know that Jeff, he's maybe getting a little bit antsy now. He's starting to see the opportunities that are open. Oh, Mains leaves the bottom open there for half a second. If Jeff was a little bit closer, he could have taken the bottom, but he decides not to try to force his way under Mains. Probably a gentleman's agreement. Now, these guys realize I still get money from being up here. We can just race, and then maybe last lap, just do whatever we want because they've got a 28-second lead.
Screw that. You want to win. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. We cut that off. But, racing glory is racing glory. 60 last chance to go. Do you want it, Jeff? Or is Jason going to deny you? Both of these gladiators, 3 positions gained from the start of the race from Jason. 7 positions gained from Jeff. And Raymond 2 down. So if anybody's more hungry than anybody is Raymond, of course. And Matthew Arca with his mum out there is gaining 1 position. But don't count him out. But here we go, mate. 3 to go. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm sweating. I need air conditioning.
Oh, yeah, Jeff, I know he's just plotting his move right now. What do I do? 2 to go. So he's got 2 more times around. The next lap by, this is when drivers are going to pick up the antics. They're going to be moving around, searching for the lane, trying to get the run. And I'll go ahead and give it away. If Merrick lays back and pulls up to the 87, that means he's going to be trying to get a run and set up Mains for the finish. It's going to be interesting to see, will these drivers play nice or will they take off the gloves and start throwing punches? Because they're all up here. That's really a 4-truck breakaway between them all.
Mate, that's it. This is almost like 1 to go. So, Brycey, you have to call this one. I'm going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
60 might have got under the 21 there for half a second. You saw the 21 open up the bottom. It's going to be white flag in the air at Talladega for HSR. The 60, he's got about 2 more shots. He can get one off the backstretch. He can get one maybe coming through the tribal. He's right up to the bumper of the 21 of Mains. He needs to start backing up to the 87 to get the run. What will this 60 do? He can maybe start plotting. He's looking to the outside. He's hoping that the 87 of Raymond can get to his bumper, give him a shove. He's not going to get a run down the backstretch just yet. You see Nathan Harper jump out. 60, he's not to the bumper of Mains like he needs to. He needs to start backing up to the 87. Let Mains get out there a little bit farther than what he needs to, but these 2 lap trucks on the outside are definitely going to hurt them. Will the 60 jump up in front of the 11 of Nathan Harper? Well, lap truck coming to play. He's already by him, so he's kind of boxed in now. So Mains might have it in the bag. 60, a 21 are coming off the corner. Harper, he's a lap truck. Doesn't matter what he's doing, but there goes Baker to the high side. He's going to try to go for 3rd now. He's gotten 3rd. He's going to go to the middle. But through the tribal, it's going to be the 21 of Mains with the 60 falling. Here comes the 5. Where did the 5 come from? He's going to come home 3rd. Almost steals it from Jeff.
Wow. Matthew Baker came out absolutely nowhere there with the lap traffic and just snuck a little bit of a sneaky peek in there. Does a job there. But don't take it away from Jason, of course. Jason did what Jason needed to do. Jeff did what Jeff didn't want to do, of course, and Matthew did. Raymond, the man that started on pole, now dropped back a few positions there. Caught napping, perhaps, that final corner of the traffic. Either way, points are points, places are places.
Oh, we got a weird finish back here. This is the last pan position. Ron's going to get it from PJ. Oh, and they're wrecking. Oh, gosh, they're wrecking after the finish. Ron gets the last pan.
That, okay, insurance is not available.
Ron gets the last pan position, but Baker, out of nowhere, shot up to 3rd, almost stole 2nd from Merrick. Sorry.
Now, Bryce, I'll tell you what, you've been doing such a fantastic job casting this brilliant racing league. Guess what? Have we not broken the records?
Man, that was 70 laps, all 70 green.
Absolutely. Congratulations to all the drivers. I don't think I've ever seen that in all my broadcasting career. Have you?
I mean, I haven't. That's been forever since I saw them all go green as we have the 87s burning it down with Garrett Maines. We'll see if the 60's going to join him. Yep, 60 joined him. It's like Matthew. He's joined him also, so everybody's deciding to burn it down here. Might as well. Now, they're going to come home with the money.
The cars are refundable. You can take them back into the, yeah, you borrowed them. Okay, like you return them.
Yeah, but
tires or not.
We'll go back to the finish.
Green flag racing, Bracey. Green flag racing. Are you kidding me?
We'll see where Matthew came from. He came out of nowhere in that last turn. I think he hopped up in that middle lane at just the right time.
All I heard was his mom screaming in the background. Let's see how that panned out.
So see what he does here. He runs that middle lane, decides to hop up in there. You see he's already got a huge run. Absolute monstrous run. Gets past the 87. Shoots the middle. Lawrence opens up the door. And that truck behind him just can't come just in time. He almost steals it from the 60.
Oh, wow.
But Matthew just out of nowhere.
That was the first time somebody took the gamble in the middle lane as well. Remember, we were talking about earlier, like that was like the unforbidden territory.
You don't really see many
Matthew
people.
Just says, bang.
You don't really see many people up there at all, but we'll bring in Matthew Baker if he's sitting in the Discord here. Let me find him. Yep, he's waiting in here. Hey, Matthew, this is Bryce's booth. You got a copy, man?
Gotcha, Bryce.
Man, you came out of nowhere out of 3 and 4 and almost stole it from Jeff, coming to the line. But how did your race go the whole night, though, man?
Oh, it went good. Jeff and Jason and Ray, we were all working together there. The 14 p.m. to me with like 5 to go said he'd push me out of 4, so I kept it from him and see if I could pull off a couple more spots. But then they started forming up down the backstretch. But I didn't want to wreck anyone, so I just waited till the last possible moment to make that move, make it a little better on the broadcast for you guys for the finish.
I mean,
your mum made it better on the broadcast for the finish, my friend, because I could barely hear the cars as your mum was screaming from the Twitch channel there to bring you home, my friend. I'll tell you what, you did bring everything home because you were just bump drafting everybody at the 1, 2, 3, 4. That was it all the way. And you're like, you know what? Let's just kick it in overdrive and let's get a podium. You did, my friend.
I thought, why not get up there and at least get my grandma to hear my voice. I know she wants to hear me talk on this, so I thought I'd get around right there.
Congratulations. And your family first. And you know what? That crowd support, it gives you a little bit of a boost, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does, yeah.
Man,
real love racing in front of them.
And that was a heck of a move. I'll give you that. But before I let you go, is there anybody that you want to thank? Any sponsors that you might want to shout out that have been watching the stream here tonight?
Yeah, just thanks to Coasting Thunder. Thanks to Baker and Son Construction. Thanks to Ray, Jeff, and Jason executing on pit road all day. That was awesome to gap everyone by 20 or 30 seconds. I don't know what the gap was.
Hey, keep it cool.
It was really good. Execution on pit road by those guys, so I couldn't have done it without them. And then thanks to you guys in the booth. And
your grandma was changing those tires, mate. She'd be thanking her. She jammed that fuel rod right in your car there, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You ready to go, mate? Bang, done.
Yeah, she was going on me, drop the jack, and I was gone.
Yeah, there you go. See, family first. I'll tell you what, it helps you boost there, man. You got a podium, so congratulations.
Yeah, thanks you guys so much.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go then. That was a good race for you, though. Good job tonight, Matthew.
Thanks, buddy.
So we'll bring in the 60 of Jeff Merck now.
And delete all the spam in the chat. Sorry, guys. So we can delete all that BS that we
I
don't.
should
go
have.
ahead. Anyway, forget about all that.
Hey, Jeff, this is Bryson Booth. You got a copy, man?
What's up, Bryce? What's going on, man?
Man, so you ran up front the whole night. Matthew almost stole it from you at the end, but how did the race go for you the whole night, man?
Oh, it was, man, we just sat in a rocking chair and drove it, really. Me, Maines, Baker, Ray. We just hooked up together and said, well, we just stayed nose to tail. We controlled the field there for a little while. And then I think we just outpitted everybody all night and had like a 35-second lead over the rest of the field. Lapped everybody, but I think 7th place up. So I'd call that a good night.
Yeah, man. But Matthew, at the end, I know you were a little bit nervous because Matthew came out of nowhere and, but you barely edged him out. Here's what it was. So here's what the finish was for you. So you were .059. Matthew was .061. So you were just edging him out there, but that was a good finish for second. You would think first is where it's at, but second and third is where that was at tonight, man. But before I let you go, is there any sponsors, anybody that you might want to shout out that may have been watching the stream tonight?
Yeah, I want a big shout out to my loving wife inside. Without her nut, I wouldn't be able to do this. This is my hobby. She lets me do it to kind of de-stress. I don't know if you guys ever focused on the hood tonight or not, but this is a paint by Patented Paints. He's a great painter. If you need a paint, go look him up. There's in America, we lose almost 22 veterans a day to suicide. So that's a big shout on my hood is 22 a day. So that's in reference to all the veterans we lose every day. Stone River Outfitters, which is my primary sponsor. Go check those guys out. StoneRiverOutfitters.com for all your fly fishing and fly tying needs. Veteran owned and operated. So look those guys up. Is it what? Ghost Broadcasting? Is that what it's called?
Ghost Racing Network is what we are.
Ghost Racing Network. You guys put on a good broadcast. I always look forward to going and see it. My teammate, oh, hey, is that the Aussie up there? Aussie!
Yeah, but Jeffrey, you know what? You tickle me, my friend. Like I thought I almost caught the biggest catch because I'm actually was recently a part of a league that was casting for veterans. Part, of the community. So you just tickled my fancy on that one, mate. And you know what? It's community, isn't it? Jeff,
yeah, exactly.
Repeat that again.
Yeah, it's 22 a day is the name of it.
Wow.
It's an actual iRacing is kind of real big on not using nationally recognized sponsors.
Yeah, but the cause, right? Obviously.
Oh yeah. I will say I'm a disabled veteran myself.
Yeah.
I'm 70% disabled through the VA. So anything that's veteran related, I try to put it on my car. Because if you see a veteran walking down, even over in Aussie, you see a guy that's got he's wearing a uniform, wearing a hat.
Nothing over in Aussie, mate. You are a true blue champion. I'll tell you that right now.
That's right. Just walk up, stick your hand out. We don't expect a lot. Stick your hand out, shake your hand, say thank you,
my friend.
Yeah, say thank you. And that means more to a veteran than you'd ever know. Just knowing that their sacrifice is
Jeffrey,
appreciated.
I tell you what.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry for cutting. I'm really, I should be cutting you off, my friend, because you've done a lot more than I have. But I tell you what, the casting I have done recently with other leagues as well. I tell you what, veterans as well, and I'm part of a actually casting that's doing in suicide veteran prevention and all this sort of jazz that's going on. It's not jazz, my friend. It's not serious. It's not something that's fun. Serious.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I tell you what, if guys like you are a part of this community, well, thank you very much, my friend.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And bringing that.
Yeah, thank you for your support. Like I always like to say about our veterans, PTSD is it's a silent killer. The best way to look at it is you can take the veteran out of the war, but you can't take the war out of the veteran. So, those guys bring a lot of stuff back with them that you can't see. The ones that do show their wounds, they're just as important as the guys that look just like anybody else, but they're carrying around more baggage than any person should. So Jeff, big shout out to those guys.
Jeff, you are the ambassador to bring that message out to everybody. Remember that, my friend.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate it.
Racing, the more that you're gonna acknowledge that to everybody else.
Yes, sir. I try to get the word out as much as I can because, like I said, nothing more important. I'm from a military family. My dad is he's disabled from Vietnam. I'm disabled from the current stuff that's going on. So I like guys that. What's that?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying what you're doing, Jeff, is you're combining a whole family of everybody around the world.
Right. Exactly. To all the veterans out there, I appreciate your service. Keep your head up. I know my Baker, the guy you interviewed in third place, he's currently active in the Navy. So he's an active military member. My other teammate, Jason Maines, he's up there. Y'all interview him. He's a winner. We don't have a team name yet for the money races, but we'll come up with one eventually. Big shout out to Bandit Motorsports, which is who I race with now. That's my team that I run another league with. Scott Patented Paints, Stone River Outfitters, Ghost Racing Network. You guys do a great job. All the guys over here that admin this money race. We enjoy coming over here running Saturdays and Sundays, try to make a little money, have some fun. And thanks for putting on a broadcast, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go then. I'll bring in Jason Maines. Hey, Jason, this is Bryson's booth. You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Bryce?
Man, so you were up front the whole night, and looks like that last pit stop, you were able to hop in front of those guys. But how did the whole race go for you, though, man?
Well, it went good. I mean, we worked together as a team very well. We executed. The key is, execution. Last night we didn't do a good job, and we got beat. And tonight we executed and pit stops, and that's where you separate yourself.
I mean, it was really, coming down to, it was really, truly only a 4-truck battle because you guys had a 35-second gap to the guys behind you. So I knew, probably wasn't going to be any wrecking coming to the line, but, you're able to hold them off. Matthew, I mean, gosh, Matthew had a huge run. I mean, he about passed Jeff at the end. And if it would have been a little bit longer, he might have had you. But, that was a good race for you, overall. But, I mean, how was the race, from your point of view the whole night?
Well, it was respectful. I mean, a lot of people up front, Stamper and stuff like that. We raced with them. Ron Morris, great guy. So there's a lot of respect up there. Everybody knows the first stop, you're just trying to get through the green flag stops. There's no reason really to push the issue. It's because it's all risk. You know what I'm saying? So once we get through the stops and get down to the end of the race, and you can race it out. But any type of plate track, you got to execute, and that's the key to it every week.
Yeah, man. Well, before I let you go, is there any sponsors, anybody you want to shout out that might be watching the stream here tonight?
We got to thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Everything we do is for Him. I got to thank Elliott Satellite Esports, Into the Apex, ChevyLiners.com, Colleague Racing for helping my son, Garrett Maines. Got to thank Brother Mechanical and Lennox Industry, Martin Sports, Awesome Apparel. Scott's a great guy, and I got to thank my teammates there, Baker, Jeff Merck, and Ritnor. They, like I said, we work really, really well together, and it showed and it paid off.
All right, man.
It showed that you are fam. Sorry to cut you off at the moment there, because it showed that you are family. Family is what it's all about, isn't it? When it comes to the HSR Truck Series. And my friend, as you mentioned as well to your son, it's family first, of course. That's what it's all about. You want it. Did you expect, in my very, very last question, so you can go celebrate with the team and family, that was going to be no safety cars during this whole, pace cars during this whole race?
Honestly, you never know. We've had leads before with 20 seconds and 10 seconds and all that, and a caution come up like 4 to go or the last, 2 laps to go or whatever. But a lot of it comes down to, respect. You get a lot of respect from, different people racing. And that's the big thing. Some of the races we get in, they may not be at the same level, but they still stick it in there and can't control their vehicle, and then you get issues. And I didn't see that tonight. Like I said, we raced with a bunch of these guys. I raced with Stamper a lot, Ron Morris, raced with him a bunch, and we all enjoy it. PJ did a great job. When you get in there and you have that respect between the different drivers, that's what it's about. They know, and like I said, like I was just telling Bryce, in restricted plate racing, the first part of the race, it's just about logging laps. That's all it's about, and you've got to be there at the end to race it out. So once it's separated after the first 2 stops, then you get your different packs and stuff like that. And so the more separation you get, the better chance you have of long green flag. Our biggest fear was wrecking each other coming on the pit road. So it was sketchy a couple of times. I mean, we executed, but it's, you try to get as much as you can, and there's a fine line between going too far. And so I think that was our biggest scare.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go here. That was a good night for you, taking home the most money in first. And if that's a good paying night for you, but I'll let you go here now, man.
Well, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, and so y'all know the money doesn't go to me. We split it. So there's no animosity. There's no I gotta win, that kind of thing. And that's what makes it fun. If I'd have been behind Merck, I wouldn't have passed Merck. If I'd have been behind Baker, I wouldn't have passed him. I've pushed Baker to like 7 wins and never pulled out, because it doesn't matter to us who wins. So and that keeps it more of a family and fun environment.
All right, man. Well, good race for you. I'll let you go here now.
I appreciate it, Bryce. Appreciate y'all broadcasting, and y'all take care.
You too, man. As I'll go through the running order here, Jason Maines takes it home tonight, followed by the 60 of Jeff Merrick, who barely edged out Baker at the end. Baker had rockets strapped to his truck, it seems. He comes home second. Matthew Baker follows him in third. Raymond Rittner fourth. And there's a huge gap to Ron Morris. Ron, I believe it might be top 6 this race. Ron, he comes home 5th. PJ 6th. John Brink 7th. Kobe Supton 8th. James Conley 9th. Robert Lawrence 10th. Derek Raleigh 11th. Kenneth Stanford 12th. Dean Brummett 13th. Joseph Madigan 14th. Kerry Whitaker 15th. Danny Eshelman 16th. Jonathan McIntosh 17th. Nathan Harper 18th. Got down here. Larry Johnson 19th. DJ Daniel 20th. 21st, Joseph Turley. 22nd, Christopher McLean. 23rd, Joshua Morales. 24th, Justin Rydon. That was all the drivers that were on track here. The drivers that you see at the bottom were race control or joined. Big was joined to watch the race. So really 24 trucks this race. Not bad racing. Went green the whole way. Not really something that I expect. Talladega, you tend to see a lot of wrecks here. But Biggles, from your point of view, how was the racing tonight?
Absolutely brilliant. More so than anything, Bryce, because my voice is a little cracky at the moment. But thank you very much for all those brilliant gladiators that put the effort on. They were there. And it's all very emotional for a lot of drivers. That's what I felt at the end of the day. But Brycey, mate, without you and without their fantastic team that puts everything on behind the scenes, of course, at HSR, it's money, but money is not really that much of a value, isn't it, to people? It's more about the personal, love and drive that gives people the energy to do what they do. And what a community. Absolutely, what a community. And thank you very much, Brycey, for allowing me in the commentary box again.
And well, if you guys are still watching here, if you don't mind subscribing, we're about, 138 subscribers. The channel's really grown here tonight. Won't be streaming tomorrow, but you'll catch me here Monday doing the Twisted Chassis Truck Series, and I'm actually picking up a Tuesday League. It'll be 2 back-to-back races, so that'll be interesting. And I've got Wednesday, Thursday, every single week I'm streaming here at Ghost Racing Network. So if y'all have time and want to watch some sim racing stuff, don't mind. I'm not against y'all dropping by and watching. Definitely will help us here. But I'll roll the ads that I have left, and I will let you all go here tonight.